All right, so we have a decent number of people who have already joined before. I think that's very good to see. That shows excitement and commitment to this cause. And I believe every one of us will benefit from this session today. My name is Amir, and I welcome you all on behalf of LAS community, that is learnandsupport.com and educationist.ai. I hope you guys can see my screen. Just type in the chat box if you can see. You can see my screen. Cool. Very good. Okay. So before we start off with the session, meanwhile, in that 4 5 minutes, we'll be having a quick look at what LAS is, what Educationist.ai is, and in probably in 5 7 minutes, we'll be starting off the session itself. We are not going to wait very long, but let's just have a quick look at Educationist.ai and LAS. Before we start off with the session, I just wanted to ask a question to you all, and you can just reply with a yes or no in the chat box, okay? If if at all I give you a choice to go back in time, right? With all the knowledge that you have today about careers, about jobs, about education, and change any of your career decisions in the past, you do it. Like if you go back in time, back to your 10th grade, 12th grade, with everything that you know about jobs and careers, and you had a choice to change your career decisions, would you want to do it? Type yes in the chat box if you want to change it, and type if you are very satisfied with every decision that you have taken so far. Yes, no, a mix of it. Okay. 100% satisfied. Very good. That's excellent. Okay, to be satisfied with what you have. But we realize that a lot of people either did not have the exposure, not the correct career guidance, and there's a plethora of reasons for which they might be regretting their career choices. And that ratio is not small. Okay, if it is yes for you, if it's no for you, cool. But if you ask 10 people around you the same question, probably seven or eight would say that yes, I would want to go back and change some decision, some career decision that I have taken in the past. Right? If you ask me personally, if I knew everything that I know today, to go back in time, change some of my career decisions, I might have changed my stream, I might have changed my college, I might have even changed my study. I don't know. I might have taken a lot of different decisions. Either ways, the point being that lack of exposure, lack of access to knowledge, and all such issues can sometimes, not sometimes, in a lot of times, lead to regrets and career choices, which have very dire implications in the later stages of career, right? Not every one of us, some of us might be young in our careers, we might be just starting off. We don't know how exactly it feels to be 35 and feel that I have picked the wrong career. And if I would have done something else, I would have done so much better and I would have been in a different place, right? To solve this problem, Mr. Furkan Sayed, the founder of LA's community and Educations.ai, has built this amazing tool that is called Educationist.ai. I've shared my screen. I hope you are able to see this. I would request you to give it a visit, look at the website, see what's there. So what Educationist does is it maps your skills, your interests, it analyzes all of those things, right? And it gives you personalized recommendation career based on your strengths, based on skills, based on your interests, right? Rather than just going for something, rather than just opting for a course because my friend opted for it, or because my neighbor has opted for it, because so and so uncle told me. Rather than that, it is much, much better to analyze your skills, strengths, weaknesses, all of it, and then take a decision on that basis, right? There's this very famous quote that if you love what you do, you never have to work a single day in your life. And probably if you're made for something that's your scope of interest, right? That's the field of your interest. When you work in that field, you will feel more satisfied, you will prosper, you'll flourish, you would want to grow in there. And if you are forced to go, or if you went into another field due to lack of knowledge, due to lack of
At any given
exposure,
point of time, I need this 100 crores for my business. But now, let us say for one season alone, let's say I am a sweet manufacturer during Diwali.
yeah, I'll just not allow participants to unmute themselves. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying is, due to lack of exposure, due to lack of knowledge or any such thing, if you go into a career option that is not made for you, you might be left feeling unsatisfied, you might struggle, you might face a lot of different issues. To tackle this problem, uh, Mr. Furkan has built this amazing tool which you can use, which you can recommend to friends, which you can try it out to explore your career options. It's for both students and working professionals. If you are a student, it will recommend you career options. If you are a professional and if you're looking for a successful career pivot, right, it will recommend you the ways how you can go into your desired field. Okay, I'll not take much of your time. I'll quickly now move on to the next thing. I just wanted to show this. This is the founder, Syed Furqan Ahmed. You can follow him on LinkedIn. He regularly posts about AI tools and everything about AI, which you might want to know. If you follow him, you will be updated with what's happening in the space. This is me, Amir. I'm a team member at Educationist.ai and LAS, that is learnandsupport.com. And so we'll be starting off with the session. And today we have our guest, Mr. Faraz Khan. Mr. Faraz has done his engineering from Jamia Millia Islamia in 2017. If you might, something about his career as well is that he pursued mechanical engineering from Jamia, and then he worked in L&T for a good amount of time. Some of the projects that he worked on, some of the products that he made or designed during his tenure have actually come into existence, which are used in military services these days. So that's one of his, what do you say, achievements of his career at that time. And from that time, he has then transitioned into data. Within a quick span, he has become somebody. Okay, I'm sorry. Within a quick period of time, he became a senior data engineer. Right now, he's working with EPAM systems. And that's pretty much it. More about him will be discussed during the PPT. And I think that's a good time to pivot from LNT, right? I think Farad bhai left LNT at the right time because this happened recently. LNT asked people, the chairman asked people to work for 90 hours or so. So good for Farad bhai, and I hope he'll be able to share some learnings so that others can also pivot or follow his path. Just give me 1 second. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll hand over the session to Mr. Faraz and he'll be taking on from here.
Hello everyone. Am I audible first of all?
Yes, you are, Faraz bhai. You are audible.
Okay, great. Okay. So hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this session. And this is the first session in the Career Catalyst series. So this is a four-part series. So we will be looking at the CV, how to build CV using AI and how to do it effectively. And in the coming weeks, we'll cover more things like how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to use networking, and how to build your own professional brand on LinkedIn. So today we'll be looking at how to build your effective CV using AI. So just a little bit about myself, although thank you for the generous introduction, Amir Bhai. Although he covered like most of the things about me, so I'm a senior data engineer working at EPAM. And what makes me qualified to uh, be here or take this session is one, I'm a technical interviewer at EPAM, and I also shortlist candidates for the open positions internal to EPAM. So if there are any projects and there are many open positions, so I select candidates based on their experience and their CV. So which is why I know what is good and what's not, and what works and what's not. And the second thing, I did some paid courses on how to write CV, and I implemented those learning, and I saw the impact myself. And I mean, literally, it was very significant because when I used to write CV earlier, so I used to write really crappy CVs, and then gradually I kind of learned. I took two paid courses, and then just credits to these guys, easel.co. You can look it up on the internet. So this is the course which I did. So they had their first version earlier in 2017. And then they launched their another version called integrated with AI. So that came in 2024. So I did both of these. So you can see, this course cost around $65, and I will do my best to give the $65 worth information to all of you free of cost. That will be my goal here. And coming to the session outline, so these are the things which we will be covering today. One is the first thing is what goes into a great CV. What are the ingredients? So this is a little bit of theoretical part, not much. I would say, the 80% of today's session will be, practical demonstration rather than just me talking and you guys listening. So we'll actually see, the most things in action. And the second thing which we will be covering is AI prompts. We'll look at all the AI prompts which are promptly engineered already. So you don't really have to, do a lot of stuff in the GPT itself. So everything is pre-written for you. You just need to add your information, and we'll look at this in the demonstration. And then we will go to a certain job opening, and we will try to align our CV based on that, to see how the recruiter would see our CV. So these are the things which we will covering today. And before we get into the technical part, I just want to set some expectations here that this course, I mean, what this session will do for you. So we will cover all the essentials required for you to build a CV that gets noticed by recruiters. That's what we'll do. And also we'll give you all the AI prompts, all the templates, all the PDF resources, everything for free, which you can utilize. What we will not be doing here, we are not going to write a customized CV for everyone here. That's something which you have to do after, learning everything from here. And second, even after you learn, whatever I explained today, this does not guarantee an interview because that depends on a lot of factors, your work experience, your industry, your domain, and the current job market. But definitely, having the CV will definitely increase your chances of getting an interview call or getting multiple interview calls. So that's what our target would be. And just one side note here. So we will be taking question and answer at the very end. So, if you have any questions coming up in your mind, just drop in those comments. I'll keep looking at it. And also, I'll try to make this session a little bit interactive. I'll be asking questions. So just, this will be just yes and no question mostly. So just try to participate as much as possible so that I know, what kind of audience I have here. Okay, so let's get into our content. So first thing, I guess most of you might be here because you are not getting interview calls. Despite having a really good CV, you don't get interview calls, and that sometimes happens because of multiple reasons. So probably I met many people. They said, I applied for 200 position and I did not even get a single call. So when you apply for 200 position and you're not getting any calls, so probably the problem is not with the companies. The problem is on our end. The problem is with our CV. So what could have been going wrong? First thing, maybe our CV is very poorly formatted. the work experience which we have mentioned. So it's too vague. It's not very specific to the job which is there. And probably, this is what most people do. They create one CV and they kind of repeat it. I mean, they use that one CV everywhere. I mean, they don't change any content. They just keep applying from that same CV again and again. And that's one reason, that's one major reason why people don't get calls. But these are the reasons when actually a human sees your CV. So before a human sees your CV, actually your CV goes into a system called ATS. So I'll just stop here and I'll ask the participants, have you guys heard about ATS before? Applicant tracking systems. Have you heard this before? Okay, so I see a couple of yes. Okay, that's good. There was one no. Okay, so some yes, some no. Okay, that's good. That's good that I see a lot of yes. That's a good sign. So let me explain what this is. So ATS is a software, you can say, or it's a bot which which first reads your CV. It tries to parse all the information from your CV, and then it tries to match all the keywords with the job description. So it just fetches all the information, all the main keywords from your CV, and it matches it with the job description, and it see how relevant these two things are. So the more the relevancy, the higher your chance of getting shortlisted. If you have less relevance, then you might not get a call. So that's what ATS does. So I hope this is clear. If it is not, I'll just explain it again. So I'll just stop here again. Let me know if this definition is clear to everyone about ATS. Those who said no. Okay, I didn't see anything, so I'll just take it as a yes. Okay, good. Yes. So we'll see that again in action. Now, just some misconceptions about ATS. So, how many guys have tried ATS web tool on internet? Free web tool. So, have you guys ever tried that? Okay. So I see some no's. Okay, some yes. Okay. So okay. So someone said not getting more than 72. So I'll tell you one misconception about ATS tools. So when you upload your CV, it tells you how much your score is based on your CV only. I mean, you don't really upload your JD, and which is why these ATS tools are not so accurate. It asks you for your JD, sorry, your CV, and it does not even take into account what job you're applying for, and it gives you it gives you a score based on how easily it can parse the information, but it does not really tell you whether your CV is aligned to the job which is being posted or not, or which you are interested in or not. There are a couple of tools, very less, which do that, but most of them don't. And I know from the inside we have the tools. So what they do, they have the CV, and then they try to match the language with the JD, and then that's how you get the ATS, the actual ATS. And we'll be seeing one prompt based on this. So even if you're getting 90 plus and you're just uploading your CV, will tell you, it does not matter. You can still get rejected because your CV on standalone, it's 90 plus, but with job description, it might be, totally different. So we will try to, align it with the JD. And the second thing is, second misconception, that high ATS score guarantees success. That's not true. You can have a high ATS score, you can still get rejected because, ATS score only let you pass through the robot. Then it goes to a human, and that's where you need more than this ATS score. You need more skills and more tricks, and we'll talk about those. So how do we tackle this ATS? We will have this anti-robot protocol, and I'll explain it more detail. I'll explain it in more detail in actually the demonstration. But what we'll do is we'll try to match the language with the JD, what I just explained. We'll try to integrate the buzzwords in our CV. So the buzzwords are, what there are some words which are, quite specific to a company. For example, EPAM, you'll hear a lot about, their client-based company. They value client, and client that, client this. So if you mentioned that, I mean, your experiences, to give the best client service, then kind of you kind of match that language. So that's how your ATS will get better. So that's one thing, and we'll see this in more detail. So the main thing about anti-robot protocol is we will integrate, probably their core values of a company into our CV so that we have higher chance of getting shortlisted. So that's one thing. And I talk about once the application or our CV is passed through the software, it goes to a real human. And then this thing comes up. This is notion which is very popular in the recruitment industry, the 6-second test. So has anyone heard about this thing, the 6-second test? Yes. No. Okay. Okay. So I'll quickly explain what this is. So this is a general thing that a recruiter looks at your CV for only 6 seconds, and then he makes his decision whether to whether to give you a interview call or to reject you, or put your resume in the rejection pile. So it takes only 6 seconds. But when I started doing this, so I have a slightly different take on this. So it takes 6 seconds to decide whether to reject this candidate or to read the CV further. It's not like, whether to reject this candidate or to give him a call. It's more about whether to reject this candidate or read the CV more and then decide whether to give him a call or to reject it. So, it takes 6 seconds to make the judgment about how the skill sets is. So how the 6-second test, we'll just do it right in front of us. So, we'll just look at some the bad CV, the good CV, and the great CV. And in this session, we'll try to make a great CV, which catches the eyes of any recruiter the moment we see it. So let's just jump to the portal or to the web browser. Okay, so yep. So this is an example of I would say bad CV. There are a couple of good things as well, but this is overall this is a bad CV, and I'll tell you why. From the very beginning, I've hidden all the personal information so that I'm not really naming and shaming here. First thing, look at the professional summary. So first thing, he does not mention how many years of experience he has. It's not mentioned anywhere. And look at this line, also having a keen interest in data analytics and visualizing. I mean, this professional summary does not look really very professional. So that's one problem with the CV. The next thing is look at the chronology. So this guy has been working since 2021. So that means like 4 years now. But still, he chose to put his education first, and then his personal projects, and then his work experience. So this does not make sense. I mean, when you have sufficient experience, even you have 1 years of experience, you just put that first, and then you put your personal projects and education. So it should always be in the reverse chronological order. What you have done recently comes first, and then comes the other stuff. uh, Look at this achievement thing. Not a very red flag or really bad thing, but still it's noticeable enough. Got client appreciation for successfully handling production deployment for a very critical release. I mean, either you don't really mention this line at all, or you just mention what that critical release was. I mean, don't just leave the public in a cliffhanger that there was a very critical release. Either you just mention got client appreciation award, that's it, and leave the other stuff. So that was another problem with the CV. There are good things as well, like the skills. If you see, he has mentioned all the skills, and probably these were the skills which were required in the JD. So these keywords will be picked up, and the ATL will let this guy pass through. So that's a good thing about this. He mentioned all the certificates again. That was really good. And overall, the CV structure, the format, the template it's good. Okay. Okay, so I hope this is clear. And I would stop here and I'll ask if English is okay for everyone, or would you guys want me to switch to Hindi as well? If I just want to know what kind of audience I have here. Is English fine? English is perfect. Okay, 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 okay. That's good. I think enough pointers. Okay, so now let's move on to. Okay, let me just quickly look at the chat. I saw a couple of questions. Okay, okay, I'll just deal with these later. So this is an example of a bad CV. Let's look at the good CV. So this is a good CV. I'll just hide the upper part first. So this is a good CV. I'll tell you why. He started with a chronological order, his work experiences in chronology, and then he mentioned all the required technical skills here. So probably these were required in the job description. So when a recruiter sees that, so he knows that okay, this guy has what's asked, and the experience is defined very well. Education, certification, everything looks good, but still there are some problems. So he does not, again, even this guy does not mention his professional summary. So there's no professional summary. I don't know how many years of experience he has until I look at his CV from the very beginning, and then I know, okay, this guy started working from November 2020, and that's how I'll know, okay, this guy has 4 years of experience. But I needed that information, at the very first glance. So what we talk about, the first 6-second test. So, this guy might or might not clear that first 6-second test, because we want to make the job for recruiter easier as much as possible. We don't really want him to or her to, do a lot of searching. We just want to make his life easier. So this is a good CV, but still not great. And another thing, I mean, a lot of people are making CVs like this. So you will end up in a pile with, where a lot of people have done the same thing. So again, your chances of getting noticed is less. So we want to do something which literally stands out. And that's what we are going to look at the great CV. And that's what we are going to make or going to build today. So just look at the CV. I mean, the first thing I notice, the moment I look, are these things, the functional expertise. So I know what this guy is good at. Everything is, mentioned. I mean, this is mentioned in bold letters, so it just grabs your attention. And then, what his designation, what his roles is. He has mentioned how many years of experience he has, and literally, everything in professional summary. Then you see, I mean, this is a really, really great thing about the CV. So whatever functional expertise he mentions here, he does not just leave it as it is. He tries to defend it in his work experience. So he says he has a skill, communication, and presentation. So the same thing he has mentioned in one of his work experience bullet point. And then there's one more called process improvement. So again, he explained that point here. He mentions it here, and then he goes on and explain how he has demonstrated this specific skill set. So the same trend is continued throughout the CV. Whatever his skills are, we see his experience, which is aligned to that skill, and then you see his educations, his volunteerism, other relevant information. So this is the kind of CV which grabs the attention of any recruiter. And this is a tried and tested CV by myself. I literally had a high success rate using this kind of format. So we will be looking at this, and the crux of this today's workshop is this thing. This is called Big Six Skills. We mentioned our Big Six skills here. So let's go back to the presentation. I will come back here. So this is the heart of today's session. If you nail this thing, I think you're good to go. I mean, you can always build your CV, and I'm pretty sure. Apologies. Am I still audible? Actually, I just got a call. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, got it. So I'll tell you that if you properly pay attention today, you will not have to attend any other CV session ever. I mean, this is what you need, and this will suffice. Okay. So first thing is how to make what are these big six skills? So these are actually the blend of what is asked in the JD and what you know. So again, I'll repeat that your big six skills are what is asked in the JD or in the job and what you know. So if you know, a couple of skills and those are asked in the JD, so that goes literally higher. So we also have an order. So we have an order of these six skills. So the first skill, or the topmost skill, should be what is mentioned in the JD at the very top, at the very first, because even in the job description you see some points are mentioned higher, and then some points are mentioned lower. So the ones which are at higher, so they have like high probability or high importance. So if you know those things, so that's your number one skill. And then if there's something which is asked in the JD and you know it, but you're not really good at it, you're not expert, but still you know it and you can defend it in interviews, so that goes second. And then if there's some skills which is asked and you probably know just the basic of it, so still that gets into 3 or 4. And then there are some skill sets which you only know but they're not even asked in the JD, but those are somehow relevant to the job. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are a front-end developer and you have some skills set in the back-end development. So it's just, one question: should I mention this in as one of these six skills or not? Just a question to everyone. If someone is a front-end developer and he mentions that he has some experience in back-end development, can he put that as one of these skills here? Yes, yes, that makes sense because it's relevant. Now let's say I'm a data scientist and I'm actually I'm a really good gardener actually. My mom says I'm a really good gardener. Should I put that as one of my skills that really good at gardening? No, I mean that's very, I mean that's a no-brainer because even though I'm good at it, it's not relevant at all. It's not relevant in it's from 1,000 miles. So definitely I don't want to do that. So this is the crux of what we will be doing today. And I would say enough talking, and let's get to the practical demonstration. So now we will build a CV from scratch up. We'll have one template, and we will build it from the very beginning to the very end. So let's go to yeah. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the template. So this is the template which I showed you, and this is what we are going to use today. So you can see, we start from first, we start from this section. We cover big six skills, and then we build from there onwards. So this is the first thing which we need to nail. Now, how do we do that? Okay, so this is how you start. Now, I just want everyone to pay very close attention because now we are actually getting started. Okay, now is a cool thing. Okay, the first thing, let's say you are a beginner, you are a fresh graduate and you have no idea what the job market is. So what you will do is you will go to the LinkedIn, you'll see a couple of jobs, just go through multiple jobs and get their JDs and copy those JDs somewhere and just try to capture 3 or 4 JDs which covers like literally all kinds of job there are in your domain. For example, if you're a data analyst, just try to copy multiple JDs of different companies, the big tech companies, so that okay, what is really asked right now in the market. So you will have a lot of idea. Okay, these are the skill sets which are asked. So all you have to do is just copy this whole thing and copy somewhere, just paste it somewhere in a Google Doc. Now, this is for fresh graduates, the ones which are literally they have no idea about the job market. So this is only to get some idea that what's going on in the market. Now, there are other types of people who are already in the job market, and now you want to apply for one specific job. For example, I need to apply for this one specific job. So what I'll do is I'll just copy only this JD. That's it. I'm just copy this whole thing, including the about me of the company, about Deep Light, what this company is, what kind of benefits it's giving. So I'll just copy everything which what's given here. And if they have mentioned this job on their portal as well, on their website, so I'll go onto their website, I'll that copy that text as well, in case if it's different from the one which is posted here. So that's the first thing which you'll do. I'll repeat again. If you are targeting only one job, just copy just one job description and everything. If you are very new to the industry and you're a fresh graduate, you're just entering the domain, look at multiple job descriptions, get an idea of what kind of jobs or what kind of skills are required, so that you'll know where you're lacking or what gaps you have to fill in. That's the first information. So for this demo, what I'm doing is I'm just taking 2 job descriptions, one from one this job, senior data engineer, and the other one is this senior data engineer. So I'm taking 2 jobs. Since I'm a data engineer, so I'll be explaining from that perspective because I know, what is relevant in my skills or in my industry. So this is what I've done here. So I have copied 2 JDs and I have pasted them here. So now our first goal is tackling the biggest thing, that is crafting our big 6 skills. So let's do that first. So this is the prompt. This is the prompt number 1. This is the prompt which we will be using to build our big 6 skills. So you can see it's very well prompt engineered already. You have all the instructions given to the GPT. So this goes into the GPT. We'll put that into chat GPT and we'll run it. So you can see, it has mentioned every intricate details, like, don't mention your knowledge cutoff, you're an expert on all subject matters, be excellent at reasoning and business strategy, and so on. You can read all of that, but we have to fill only these information here. So you have to put the JD here, and you have to put the JD here. So, I'll just delete this because this is just a placeholder. So since I'm taking an example of two companies right now here, so if you're targeting only one company, just get rid of this part. Just remove this JD2 tags. Just put the only one JD here, and also change this here. Just delete this from here, and just make the you will find two examples job descriptions. Just make it you're going to find the job example description. So just make the changes accordingly. Now, if you are a fresh graduate and you are putting multiple JDs, just increase these tags. I mean, you're free to do that. Just copy this and paste it here, make it JD3 slash JD3. So it depends on you. So you have flexibility in making changes here. It's not like what is written. You just have to copy paste. So this is one prompt which we will be using to develop our big six skills. So this is the filled prompt. I've already filled it so that I'm not copy pasting and I'm wasting time. So you can see that this is the first JD from the deep light. I filled it here, and here I'm skipping the part, the benefits and other things what you get if you join us. I'm just skipping that part. I'm just taking only the technical part, only the technical aspect of the role. That's what I'm taking here. And second, I've pasted this second JD here. Okay, and then some talent. So this talent is something which something which you're good at, something which is relevant to the job. So I have written that I have experience building end-to-end data and analytic solutions on cloud platforms like Azure, AWS, and I specialize in these things. So these are my talents. And if you have more talents, mention more. If you have less talent, or just mention whatever you have. Okay, but try to be be careful here. Like sometimes you miss out on some talents. Just try to bring in the information which are also the soft skills part as well. If you have led a presentation, or if you have done something, if you organize something, just mention it here. This is for early graduates. So if you have that kind of skill sets, just mention it here. So this is one thing. Now we will copy this whole prompt, this whole thing from here to this. This is the whole prompt. We'll copy this, and we will run this in the chat GPT. So you can see that I have copied and I have pasted this here, and I executed this. So this is the result which I get, and you can see it gave me all the big six skills which I need. I hope this is visible to everyone. So these are the big six skills it has given me based on my experience. I mean, this is a great thing. And I know I can say that for sure, these are the ones which are required by the job because it has taken into consideration the JD as well. Now, still, I would say this thing that do not trust the GPT blindly. Do not just take what it says. For example, I just did not like this point, data analytics solutions, because I felt that probably this does not really connect with what I have done. I mean, this is something 1,000 feet above. That's what you say. I have worked with data analytics solutions. This is too vague. So I wanted it to be more specific. So I wrote more options. So now you don't really have to do a lot of prompt engineering because that's what we already did in our first prompt. So it gave me some more. Now I saw, okay, I connect more with data quality assurance. So instead of this one, I'll pick this one. The reason why I'm explaining you this or showing this is because I just want to demonstrate that you don't really take whatever the AI give you in the first time. Just make some iteration if you don't like it. But you won't have to do it a lot because your prompt was very strong at the very beginning. But still, you might have to do it a little bit. So that's what I have done, and I have pasted these big skills in my resume. So this is our first part, and this was the main part. I mean, this is the first and the biggest part, and that's done. Someone says blindly following the GPAI or GPT is a mistake. That's very true. Do not follow it blindly because it's all the data. It's trained on some data, and it keeps getting trained. So if that data is not accurate, you're gonna get inaccurate results. And there are a lot of other problems with these GPTs, hallucination and a lot of other things. Although it keeps getting better and better, but still, just don't take it for it. So the first thing is done. Now the next thing. Okay, I'll just stop here and I'll ask you if anyone has any doubt or you understood this step very well. Just give me a yes and no. Yes. Okay. Just yes. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I see a couple of yes. So I'll just move forward from here. Now the next thing is now this is also very very important part. I mean, you cannot just take your big six skills and go and just publish your resume. You actually need to fill in these details, and these are like uh, equally important, or I would say more important, because this will very demonstrate what you actually did. So you can see what all fields which we need to fill in. Organization name, that's very understandable. Date, when you worked here. And then you have to describe your industry a little bit, what, I mean, not industry, your company. So probably your company might not be that popular. So you need to capture a few things about your company. Maybe, number of employees and, what revenues it generates year on year, and what kind of clients or partners this company has. So this will help the person, or the one looking at your resume, some pointer. Okay, what kind of company this guy has worked with. So this is one thing, and also then your job title. You already know that, and some general information about your responsibility from from literally 100 feet above, not 100 feet, just say 10 feet above, and then comes your big six skills. So this is again we'll do the same thing. Whatever we have written here, we'll try to bring that big six skills here, and then we'll try to explain it. And just look at this thing again. It says, did X to make X impact, and then projects. So what you have to capture is you try to quantify your bullet points. If you have done something, made a revenue of $5 million, so that's one metric, that's one numeric value. So try to capture numeric value as much as possible, but don't overdo it. I see a lot of LinkedIn influencer, pushing it like a drug dealer, that, put put this number everywhere, just put that number everywhere. That's not true. I mean, this makes it seem very cliche if you have numbers everywhere. And sometimes, people cannot even justify it. They said, okay, increase the performance by 25%. I asked, okay, how did you measure that 25%? They have no idea. They did it just, just for the sake of doing it. So don't do that. If you can justify it, add it. If you can't, just don't. So I have no problem if you can actually justify all the numbers everywhere. It's really good. But if you can't, just don't put it for the sake of, adding it. So that's one thing. Now let's do this thing in practical. So we are done with our big six skills. Now let's go to the role descriptions. So this is the prompt for the role description. Again, properly prompt engineered prompt. And then you have this organization name, industry, total number of employees, annual revenue, recognizable partners, job title, number of people on your team. So, some general descriptions of your work. So these information you can directly get from internet. Obviously, if you don't know your annual revenue of your company, just write, I can write EPAM annual revenue. I'll just get it in the first answer. Recognizable partners, this is something which you already should be knowing, and your job title, number of people on your team. This is self-explanatory. The next thing is your accomplishment. Just try to mention all your accomplishments. So these will be our points or our bullet points. So just try to capture all your bullet points for a specific job. So and then add your big six skills, whatever we have created or added the big six skills. You have to mention those here. So let me show you a filled prompt. So you can see, I have filled my details. This is what I did, and this is the general description of my work. Like, works as an individual contributor to design and develop end-to-end data solution. So this is literally, 10 feet above. No intricacies, no specifications here. Then comes my accomplishments, and this is my bullet points. These are my bullet points, and you don't really have to write it with perfect English. Just write in a rough language whatever comes to your mind, and then just use AI, and just do paraphrase this and improve the English. Do that first and then paste it here. So again, I'll repeat. First, write it in as rough way as possible, put that into the chat GPT, say paraphrase it and make it more formal for CV points, and then then paste it here. So that's what you have to do. So you can see, I have added these 4 points. So these goes into accomplishment tags. And then these are the skills. So these were my big 6 skills, which we developed from the previous prompt. And then you can see, this prompt already has some examples here to learn from. So this is like, we are training the model as we go on the go. So we will copy this whole prompt from here and up to here. We'll just copy it and we'll paste it in the chat GPT. That's what I've done, and I have executed it. I've already done that before. So this is I get literally everything. I mean, just look at the beauty of this. This gave me the organization description, the role description, somewhat overview, and then it has given me all the bullet points and also with the alignment score. I mean, this is the beauty of prompt engineering. You have alignment score of 5. So for this point, for this big 6 skills, this is the point that will go. For this big 6 skill, one of the big 6 skills, this point will go. For this skill, this is the relevant point. So, and as we go down, there's a relevant score of 2. So I know that it has quite low score, so I probably might be skipping this. So I'll just take all the ones which are high, which has high score. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it in my resume. So you can see that I mentioned EPAM system. I added my tenure, and this is the stuff which I have copied from here. You can see that this is what it comes from here. And then I added, this is the role description, an overview. So this is what I've added. And then, I've added all the points which I got from the higher alignment scores. Now, again, a side note. This gave me one point, that was about advanced data architecture. So I did not like it. So I changed it to performance optimization here. So I changed one big 6 skills in the previous prompt because I thought, this does not align very well with me for specifically for this job. So I made a change here, and you can see there's a point corresponding to that. So I hope this is clear. We have a big 6 skills, and one of them is being represented here, and then it is also defended here. And you can see here, I have mentioned saving $5 million in annual revenue. Now, if someone asks me in the interview that how did you quantify this $5 million? So I can actually explain that where the annual revenue leakage was and how did I fix it. I already have a story because I actually worked on it. So this is something honest. If it was some hollow claim, then probably I might not be able to defend it. So that's what I've done here. Here I have mentioned I reduced latency by 25% because I can actually tell that earlier the time was 10 minutes, then it dropped down to 7.5 minutes. So that is something which I can actually defend. So that's what I've done here. So this was a really, really important point. Again, I'll stop here and just ask a yes or no. Is this step clear to everyone? How to add role description and how to align it with your big 6 skills? Okay, I see a yes. Can I get some more responses? Okay, I got somewhat. Yes. Okay, I see yes. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll just quickly go through this again. All you have to do is you will be getting a prompt. You just have to fill in your details, your company details, and then you have to add your accomplishment. This is something natural. This should come originally from you. You cannot just copy it from somewhere. This is something which you have actually worked on. Just improve the English, add it here, and add your big 6 skills. These are the 3 things which you have to do, and just put it in the GPT and let the GPT give you all the details. And whatever comes on the higher alignment score, maybe 5 and 4, just take those and add those here. So probably in this point, I'm not trying to cover all the 6 points here. Probably in my entire resume, I'll try to cover all of these 6. It's not like for every job you have to cover or you have to demonstrate all these 6 skills. You can here I have just mentioned these 3, and the next one I can show the one which I have filled. So this is with the complete history. So you can see I have filled other ones as well. So here I have covered data quality framework, ETL workflow design, performance optimization, and also the repeating is fine. performance optimization is here and it was here as well. So even if that is getting repeated, that's totally fine. And also, if you're not covering all six, if you're just covering five of them, even that is fine. But at least try to cover five, or the best thing is just try to cover all of them because you need to defend all your skills. So this is the second part, and I see we are halfway. Okay, that's 9:48. Okay, so okay, just one thing. Everything, all the prompts, everything which I'm showing you, everything will be shared with you at the end of this session. So don't really worry about that. So you don't really have to worry about from where will you get the prompts and anything. Now these are only for fresh graduates because if you have done some kind of volunteerism, some voluntary work, some NGO work. So, you have to add those things as well. So probably this was not relevant to me. So, but you can still add it in volunteerism section or or if you have done some side projects because you do not have any real world experience. So that's what you will be adding. So there's a prompt for that. I'll not explain this in detail because the same thing goes. You have to add this information and what you have done. This is for volunteerism. This is for a side project. If you have done a side projects like on GitHub or make you made any website if you're a developer or something like that. You made any portfolio if you're a UI UX designer. So you can add those information here and run the prompt and get the answers. But for the professionals who have some substantial experience, even 2 years, so it's better that you remove volunteerism section. I mean that's my personal recommendation. If you have done something really extraordinary, worked with UNICEF or something really big, just keep it. Okay. So this is done. Now coming to another very, very important part, and this is again, this will play a huge part in your ATS. One thing before that, so you don't really have to stick to all these headings, which is present in the template. So what template we saw, so it does not have any achievements here, but I had some achievement which I wanted to showcase. I achieved 3 years streak of being as a top performing employee, so I wanted to show that. So I just added that heading. So I removed volunteerism. I replaced it with achievements. So you can play around a little bit, okay, but make sure that it is relevant. Just don't add some random stuff. Just add something which are usually added in a CV, which will look good. Adding education is really simple. You just add your degree, your field, and your institute, and just add the location. IT certifications. Even this field was not there, and this is more relevant to the folks who are working in IT. So you do some certifications, and these are really valuable. And also one really important thing which I should have explained. Try to make everything hyperlinked. I thought I would cover it later, but I'll just explain it here. So I have this company. I know my company has a website. So even if your company has a website, just add that link here. Just add it, make it easier for anyone looking at your CV to navigate to this website and to know more about what your company did. So that you can see, this is also hyperlinked. And the same thing goes for my certifications. So you can see, this is hyperlinked. So if someone clicks on this, so this is what they're going to see. So now they can actually see, okay, this guy is not lying. I mean, this guy has actually done his certification and its expiry date is 2026. So this gives you a credibility that, this guy has something, which shows and which is visible. So always try to hyperlink whatever you can. My university is renowned, and it is one of the top central university, actually the number one right now based on some rankings. So I hyperlink that as well. So if someone wants to look at it, okay, it's now ranked third, okay, which is a bit of a disappointment. Okay, no issues, I already left it. So okay, when I was there, it was first. I think a couple of people might know this. So yeah, so just hyperlink all the things. Now another thing, really, really important. Okay, if you guys have zoned out, just come back again. Add the technical skills here. If you don't even know that, if you know a little bit basic about those, just add the ones which you already know, which you're good at. But if you're just familiar about something, I don't know AWS a lot, but I add it as a foundational. Why? Because let's say if the JD has asked for AWS and I do not even mention it at all. But the problem is, I suffer on my ATS score. I suffer on that bot. That bot's gonna catch me. No, actually, it's not gonna catch me. I want it to catch me actually. So I'm gonna lack some score there. So add those things. Now, why I say this? I don't know anything about AWS, literally nothing, close to nothing. But if my interview gets scheduled with a specific job, I know that I can watch enough YouTube videos to at least defend the foundational level. I don't know Salesforce, but I know if my CV gets shortlisted, I have enough time to watch enough YouTube videos to get to the basic level, and I can defend the basic level at least. So, which is why I also mentioned this basic in the bracket. So at least this lets you go through the ATS. Okay, so this is a really good thing about it. So add as much as as much as keywords as possible here. I don't know Scala at all. Literally, I don't even know the hello world of Scala. But I trust myself that I know Python. I can learn it within 2 days, at least, the basic thing. So that's about technical skills. I'll stop again and I'll ask if you have any doubts here, if someone has any doubts, or is this part clear? Education, certifications, achievements, skills, and how to how to keyword optimize your skill. Okay, I see a yes. Okay, just yes. Okay. Okay, so I'll just move ahead. So we are done up till this point. So you can see what's left. Now coming to the executive summary or our professional summary. So first we build everything, basic skills, our work experience. Now we come to professional summary. So how do we do that? Let's go there. So now all you have to do is, this is our prompt. You just have to paste your resume here. Okay, that's all. That's what's required. How do you paste your resume? Just copy the whole thing. I mean, literally, that's the beauty of making everything on Google Note or Google Doc. I really prefer everyone to do it on Google Doc. You can use other things as well, like Microsoft Word or anything, but Google Doc is really good. So just don't copy it from here. Obviously, I mean, this should be very obvious. We have not filled those yet. Just copy it from here, from functional expertise until the very end, because we have filled all this information. Copy this and paste it here and run this. Put that into your GPT and run this. And this will give you your professional summary. So now, again, these GPT are not, they are not senile. I mean, they don't have it their mind, so they can make mistakes. Okay, so it does not include my experience, number of years of experience. So I asked him, just add my total number of experience. So it did that. Okay, now if now I also said that I have worked in certain sectors, so I also want this to be mentioned somewhere. So it added those. The point of showing this is, do not take this blindly, whatever it says. If you feel like something is missing, because I know it does not have my number of years, so I wanted that information. I mean, that's a very key information which should be there. So just make some changes. The good thing is you don't have to write a big prompt again. You're good with a short single sentences. So that's what I did, and I added, I ran it, and this is the final thing which I came up with. You can see, a senior data engineer with 7 years of experience across multiple sectors, including oil and gas, retail, financial services, and defense. Proven ability to build and deploy production-grade ETL, ELT frameworks, ensuring data quality and reliability. Most of this might be Mandarin for most of the people, but this will make sense to anyone who is in the data background. And also add your name. Extras is, if you're an MBA, people put MBA, or if you're a PhD, just put PhD. And then add your email address, add your LinkedIn profile, make it hyperlink again, add your your contact number. So this is a small thing, just copy your whole thing and just paste it there. So we are done with this part as well. We are very close to completing our CV. I mean, we have done literally all the part. Now again, this quick thing. This is called resume SEO. So still, if you feel that you might be missing some of the keywords which are mentioned in the job description, do one thing. Just paste that JD again, and now copy the about of the company. You remember last time we left this part about of any company, what this company is all about. But this time we'll copy it. I'll show you in the prompt. So this is my JD. I've pasted two JDs. Again, if you're working with only single company, you're targeting one company, just keep just remove this JD too. And I have pasted this about one, like Deep Light is pioneering AI company, what they do. So this pushing the boundaries and innovation. So these are what we call buzzwords. So, this company focus on innovation. So we try to, bring this word innovation somewhere in our profession summary or maybe in our cover letter. So these are the buzzwords I talked about, and we need to integrate this somehow in our application. The same thing I've done this for here. I'll run this again in the prompt. And this resume SEO prompt, this gives you the matching language. So just check if you could add these things somewhere. Like, I know from the technical part, these things looks good to me. And even, I felt that, I don't really have to add, my CV is already good. But if you felt, something was missing in your resume when you're building it, and also these buzzwords, so you can see, it's mentioned technical mentorship. So this was one of the buzzwords. Probably if you want, you can, bring in this wherever if you have, literally, if you have literally tutored a kid, just add the mentorship because you have done that, just add it. So you can say that, you actually taught some people, or, you used to teach some people. So just add that because that's a skill actually. So bring that keyword somehow. So that's called resume SEO. So this is just in cases, if you're missing something. Now we are actually done with our CV. We are literally done. All we have to do is just proofread it for one final time. You can see that I need to add my email address. I have intentionally left it, and your phone number, your LinkedIn profile, and everything is done. So we are good. We are good. Okay. So this is done. Now the next part. We are not done yet. Okay, I said we are done, but we are still not done yet. There's just one last step. Seeing the resume, just having a recruiter analysis of your CV. So what we are trying to do here is we want to know if a recruiter sees our CV, what impression he will make of us. That's what we're gonna do. So this is a prompt for that. So you just add the description, the job description again, and now you copy your full resume because now we have created the full resume. So you do that. This is the field prompt. I have added everything about the company and the description, and I've added my full resume, from the very top, including my name, my executive summary. It's just copy paste. So I'll do that in ChatGPT. So this is the result which I get. So this is, it says my alignment score is 82. I mean, this is a great alignment score. If anything is above 80, that's a good thing. So if you're seeing something between 70 to 80, that means, you can actually improve it. If you see something below 50, then probably you are applying for a job which is not even for you. I mean, there's like too many gaps. So always try to see if you can actually increase your alignment score to some level, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're applying for, I mean, right now I cannot apply for a DevOps job because my alignment score would be like, somewhere around 40 because I don't have any skill set apart from, Python or Azure. So this is what it gives you, and it even tells you everything. Like here, this candidate receive for skills match, the alignment is 20 out of 20 because what is asked in the JD and what I have, it matches exactly. Here it deducted 2 points because it says that the company is based in UAE sector and I don't have any experience working in UAE, so it deducted 2 points. And stable career progression and well-connected candidate because I've worked in multiple companies, so it gave me 14 because yeah, still not so good but not so bad. So this is what it gives me on also on education. It gave me 14 out of 20 because I have a BTech, I have some certifications, but I do not have any specialization. So it took off some of the points here, but just still it's 82 is really good. So now we are good to go ahead. Now all you have to do is just go here, download a PDF file of it, or also I mean this is something which you all know. Do one thing as well. Just take the link from here, copy link, and also make sure that it is on the setting that only people with access can open. No, you have to make it anyone with the link. So anyone who has this link can view this. So copy this link. Let me do that real quick. Copy link and create an account. If you don't create an account, it's not going to last forever. Just give it some good name. See Faraz Khan. Something I'm not really sure if this will get. Yeah. So this is a tiny URL. So make sure you always copy this and keep it somewhere safe. So when you are, I mean, when we'll go to the LinkedIn second session, so this will be very helpful. So if you want to just quickly send someone your CV, just paste this link. So people are more, I mean, people opens a link more than, if you send a file and, as an attachment. So there are more chances that people will open this link. To do that, just, do a link shortener, use that, and then share it. So this is all. This is about CV making. Let me come to cover letter. We are almost, done with the most of the our part. So in cover letter, okay, first thing, let me go back to my slides. First thing, do we actually need a cover letter or not? The answer is both yes and no. In India, I'll tell you, no one looks at your cover letter. Most of the places, maybe in some startups they might, but it's not a very predominant or prevalent thing anymore. But still, if you apply for some EU companies, companies based in Europe, so they took it very seriously. They actually ask for your cover letter, and it has to be, very personalized. So if you're applying for job outside India, then make sure that you add cover letter, and also just make it a habit that add your cover letter even if you're applying for Indian jobs. But this is the thing, you don't really have to put a lot of efforts for cover letter. So this is where this prompt comes. Don't do anything, literally the only thing which you have to do is, I'll show it to you here. All you have to do is, just paste the JD, your resume, and then some of your insights. Now, these are the insights which are not covered anywhere in your CV, because we are not going to repeat ourselves in the cover letter again. So let's look at here. I have mentioned that I have several years of experience working as an individual contributor. So this individual contributor was nowhere captured in my CV. And then I have been an active member of a tech talk community to organize technical webinars within EPAM. This is something, which is not covered again in my CV. And then I have mentored many non-tech professionals and helped them transition toward data roles. So this gives a pointer that I'm a good mentor, which I am. And if you want to switch to data roles, you can always contact me. So this is the insights which you have to provide here. And then these are the things which are already ready, and you just have to copy and paste. So I ran it in a different prompt, because I kind of ran out of the free GPT versions. Let me see, where is that? Yeah. So again, just consider this is same chat GPT. So it will give you, a fully customized cover letter for you. All you have to do is, copy this in the Word document and paste it. So somehow, it has covered roles, what I have mentioned, that, I have experience working as an individual contributor, providing mentorship to junior data engineers and non-tech professionals transitioning to data roles. So somehow, I have captured the essence of the insights which I provided. So obviously, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. This is just, a quick thing which might not even take just 10 minutes of your work. This is all. I mean, this is all you have to do. You have your CV ready. Let me go back to the slides, and very soon we'll come to the Q&A. Okay, just to recap what we did. Okay, we have to first craft our basic skills by reverse engineering the job descriptions. Then we have to write bullet points for the past experience, again using a prompt. Then then you have to add volunteerism or side projects if you have any. If you're a fresh graduate, if you're a recent graduate, add technical skills. I have put a star mark that add all the relevant, all the keywords. Literally, do not leave any keyword which is in the JD and which is not in your CV. Just try to capture everything. Language, if you want to add language, you can do. Especially in India, if you're applying in many jobs, language does not play a role. But if you're applying for EU or in UAE or anywhere outside India, just mention your language as well, and mention all your certifications. Make sure you have hyperlinked all of them. Mention your achievements, your education, hyperlink your university. Then write your professional summary. Taking all the CV which you have built, put it in a prompt. You get that. Add hyperlinks, buzzwords from their websites. Try SEO optimization, which we just saw. Proofread your CV finally, for spelling, spaces, alignment. Do a recruiter analysis of your CV. This gives you your alignment score. This is actually the real ATS score. The one I talked about earlier. That these the online ATS scores, so they do not actually tell you based on the JD. So this one actually took into account your JD as well as your CV. So this is one thing, and then just export your PDF and write a cover letter, which is optional, and we are done. Now, one final thing which I need to cover before we head on to Q&A. There's a long-going debate about whether to use one page versus or two-page CV. Now, I have talked to multiple staffing agency people. So, one thing I got from them, and even from my experience, no one would reject you because you have a two-page CV. Okay, some people try to, literally shrink their experience into one page because they said, okay, one page is a standard. That's not actually true. If you have enough experience and it is going beyond one page, just use two pages, not a problem. Just don't go beyond two pages. Then that's like too long, because everyone is looking at your CV on their computer screen, so they will not mind just rolling the button of that scroller. So it's very easy. So it's not a big deal. Also, about two-page CV. So if when not to use two-page CV, if you have very less experience, you have only 3 years of experience, then do not, go to two-page. If you're a recent graduate, just keep it to one page. And also, there's a prompt, there's also a CV template I have for one page. Let me see if I have that opened. I think, yep, here. So this is, I have both versions. I have one page, I have two page. I use them interchangeably whenever required. Now the problem with this CV is literally, I cannot even put a space. I cannot even hit an enter here. If I do that, then this goes into another page. I'll have to remove the certification. So this is so jam-packed for me. But sometimes I still use that. So I'll share this version as well. And also, this version is built on two-page CV. So first I built the template which I showed you. I built on that template, and then I converted it to here. The work experience is directly copied from there. This whole thing. The only thing was professional summary. So I just broke down into multiple bullet points. That's the only change which I have done here. And literally, I had to remove a lot of stuff. I removed all the information about my companies and all that stuff. So there's a trade-off, but I would still recommend, use the other one first, because it has that big skills section, and that literally grabs attention. So that's really one important point. And I would say, this is all about our session content. Now apply what you've learned. Use these templates and the strategies which I shared to align your CV with, with whatever roles you have. And you just research the company, and always tailor your application to a specific job role. Do not just make it once and, keep applying everywhere. And just quickly, I want to show one more thing. I kind of missed that. So, for example, okay, I got a call. Amir bhai, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you're.
Okay. Got it. So just one thing I need to show you. So let's say, now you have your built CV. Now you want to do it again for a different job. All you have to do is, go to that specific job you're looking at. I'm just, picking a random job. Just take all this information. Now do not start from the very beginning. Okay. First put that information and go to that recruiter analysis. First put that JD into your recruiter analysis and use the same CV. Okay, obviously you have to look, you have to check, okay, whether I am able to, if this job aligns with what my experience is. If you see, okay, there are a couple of gaps, just use recruiter analysis once, just to see what is your current alignment score, and then see, okay, where there was less alignment, and then improve those points. Okay, don't just start from the very beginning. Just first paste this into the recruitment analysis prompt, see what your alignment score is in individual sections, and then go to your big six skills. I see this role is predominantly focused on AWS, which I don't know. So obviously my alignment score would be less here. So I'll have to, probably kind of, shuffle my big six skills. Probably, I'll have to somehow capture AWS in one of those six skills. Somehow I'll do that. And because I know, these are some basic services I can learn very quickly. So this is how you actually do that if you're doing for another job. So I guess this is all clear for you. Now I think it's your turn, and Q&A. We are open for Q&A. Amr bhai, if you want, you can open the session, or I'll just quickly look at the chat box what we have so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
Mhm.
request people to put your queries in the chat box.
Okay.
Try to keep it aligned with the session. Please do not ask any specific questions with regards to your CV, right? Ask something that would be useful for everyone. And
Yeah. Okay, guys. One really important thing. I mean, one really important thing for your patience and for holding on for so long. Your real stuff. I mean, whatever we have discussed. So obviously, I need to share that stuff with you. So let me do that. Let me see how can I do that. So this is okay. I'll quickly explain this. How you have to use this. So these are the prompts which we have discussed. Just do one thing. All you have to do is just open this in linked in another tab. This is directly from that easel AI from where I learned this whole course. Just go here and you can use their own AI prompt or AI tool as well. But at one point of time, it will ask you for more credits and you'll run out of those soon. So what you can do is just go here, copy to clipboard. So now it's copied and then put it into ChatGPT. So that's how you can use it. So all of the prompts which we have discussed, these are here. And then there are some other steps as well. You can see that this is the steps of how to write your CV, I guess, or the anti-robot protocol. Now, this is how to write your CV. So all the steps which we have discussed. So these are thoroughly captured here. So even if you kind of zoned out between, so this document will help you. And then we have this anti-robot protocol. Just go through all of these, and then we have this CV template here. So this is for fresh graduate. You can see education is mentioned first and then professional skill. And this is the one you can click on this and it will redirect to the one which we actually worked with. So this is the link. Now I'll do one thing. I'll make I'll shorten this link and I'll share with you. I guess I already have that my URLs. And please someone confirm this with me if you are able to open this. I'll just paste this in the chat. And can someone just, open it once and see, if this is accessible to you? Just, put a yes there in the chat. Let me try as well. If I'm getting redirected to the right thing. I think I am.
Faraz, we did not receive the link in the chat box.
Okay, that's pretty weird. I'll do one thing. I'll just bring that to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, sure. I'll drop it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Send it over.
Okay. So it's a tiny URL. If you want, I can show that on my screen as well. This is the one, tinyurl.com CV. No, not this one. CV Career Catalyst. I'll do one thing. I'll just put it
I
here.
posted it. I
Okay,
posted
you're gonna post it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we will go back to okay. So open for Q&A. If you guys have anything, you can just ask right now. And just one side note, because I see some people dropping. So there will be more sessions coming in future, probably on weekends. So you can look at these sessions. So the next session would be about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So how can you optimize your LinkedIn for professional growth? LinkedIn is really powerful tool. I mean, literally, I personally felt that last year. And I'll be honest, I actually sometimes don't even apply for jobs. I directly get jobs in DM. I mean, people from Oracle, Walmart, Shell, they reach out to me directly in my DMs. I don't even apply for jobs these days. So that's really helpful. And then in session 3 we'll be covering about how to actually apply for jobs, how to just put your application forward, and how to use your LinkedIn network, and how to build your network, how to grow your network. So in future how this will help you. And then session 4, this we'll talk about how can you build your professional brand with LinkedIn. So that's also very important. So these are some sessions which we'll be hosting in coming weeks. Okay, so let me go and let me start looking at the questions. So Chavez is asking, what is the significance of professional summary? Is it content optional or recruiter something missing? Yeah, actually, it depends on recruiter. Sometimes it's not really optional because, if somehow you are capturing the essence of your work, like, what you are really good at, how many years of experience you have, and what industries you have worked in. So that really helps a lot of people. So probably, the first person who is looking at your resume, if you're applied through Naukri, so he's not a tech person. I mean, he's just a recruiter from recruiting agency from third party. But when it goes to the a person, from a technical team, so then it really helps them that they know, okay, how many years of experience you have, what kind of industries you have worked with, and what kind of overall knowledge you have. So I mean, I would say that's really, I mean, for me, it's really mandatory, and I think that's a very generic trend that if it's missing, then your resume does not look complete. Do you have any templates for freshers? Yeah. So when you go to this link which I have provided, so there's a template for freshers. Only, there's a different way of ordering. You have education first, your volunteerism, your side projects. Those sections are there. Provides how freshers might use LinkedIn to locate jobs. I'll do that, Fazil. That will be covered in the next sessions. Do switching jobs frequently affects job landing? Not in this time. Some companies, get paranoid about, someone switching the job frequently. But, if as long as you have the right talent, as long they have the requirement, they are good to go ahead. Right now, literally no one cares. But, don't switch like, within 6 months. At least have a tenure like, 1 year. Do something which is justifiable. So I would say, just strike a balance between switching too frequently and staying too long. If you ask me a number, I would say 2 years. 2 years is good. If you're staying at a company for 2 years, that's good enough. Where we will get the links for upcoming sessions. This will be shared on the group in career WhatsApp group. Yeah, Amir has already answered that question. Okay. If we are from Aurangabad, what is my address? There is Pune. Yeah, you can write it as Pune, not a problem. Just write the nearest biggest city. That should be okay. Can I put my project details after my education? You can. That's not a problem. As long as you are a fresh graduate, you can do that. But if you have some experience, just try to put it, on the later side or after your work experience. So yeah, I think that's all we have. So I would say, okay, yep. Thank you everyone for your participation. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, this is my LinkedIn. If you want to just take a screenshot of this. If you want some guidance on how to transition into data roles, so feel free and feel happy to connect with me. I'll be happy to guide you. I do not charge anything. This is free of cost. If you are into a non-tech role, you want to switch into data roles. So if you are, the only thing I ask from candidates is they have, they're ambitious enough for this. So if you have enough ambitions, if you have enough, burning desire to actually switch to data roles, then you're free to, and you're happy to contact me. I'll help you out. So yeah, that's it from my side. Amir bhaiya, over to you.
Thank you, Faraz bhai, for this session. I hope it was beneficial for everyone attending here. Thanks for the patience for keeping up for a 20, 30 minutes extra. We never said because we actually intended it to be 1.5 hours, but usually sessions wrap up in 1 hour. And I can see many of the participants joined in before even before it was 9 o'clock, and they have stayed so long. So that says that a lot of value addition was happening here. Thank you for joining in. We'll be connecting in the group, and if there's anything, just reach out. Thank you, everyone, and we'll meet each other soon.
Thank you all. Have a great day ahead.